What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Nick Palladino. I'm 25 years old and this is my transformation video. This is by far the most requested video as of lately on my YouTube channel, and that is my 10-year transformation, which actually works out perfectly. I'm 25 now and I actually really started getting into working out and getting into fitness around 14 or 15 years old, which is when a lot of people actually got into it during the high school period or the beginning of high school. And the main reason why I started lifting, just a little bit of backstory before I get started, is honestly I started lifting just because I wanted to impress girls, I wanted to attract girls, and back in high school, like the most important thing, at least when I went to school, was like having abs. So I'm gonna throw up some pictures from when I was a kid just to kind of give you guys a look at what I look like. Didn't have insane genetics whatsoever. I was always a relatively skinny kid. Big thing that I noticed looking back on these pictures was I always had really skinny arms, all the way from my shoulders to just like my biceps and triceps. I just have a really skinny bone structure, and that to this day still is a big struggle for me. My weak point on my physique is still my arms, and I can just see from here it was a genetic thing. I always had relatively skinny arms. Back in 2009, my freshman year in high school, and this is when I think I got my first gym membership at 24 Hour Fitness, and pretty much the only thing that I did at the gym was just hit abs. I don't think I did anything more than like push-ups and just like 30 minutes of abs a couple times a week. Definitely didn't have a structured eating plan. I was going from like a bunch of soda, Doritos, nachos after school, donuts after school, and then I was going to the gym a couple times a week. But I was very, very active my entire childhood, playing multiple sports every single day pretty much, soccer practice, and then in high school I actually hopped on their track team as well, so I was doing a ton of cardio. So this is a very, very start of my journey, guys. Here are a few pictures. This is also when I started modeling as well. These pictures right here are in 2010, which is my sophomore year. Pretty much the same philosophy of working out, I just hit abs. Everything else was put on the back burner. I started taking it a little bit more seriously my junior and senior year in high school, as a lot of people do. My friends really got involved. My friends started going to the gym. I finally got a little structure in my workouts. I was going 4 to 5 times a week while playing soccer and running track, so my cardio was pretty much maxed out. I think in total I was doing about 24 hours of combined workouts a week. That included like my track workouts and all that kind of stuff in the gym. So I think I had like a 4 or 5 day split. I remember this specific period. I had the bro split times 10. I even separated my bicep and tricep days. So I'd have one bicep day, one tricep day, one shoulder day, one chest day, and then I don't think I was hitting legs at the time. I don't really have any leg pictures, but I did have really skinny legs, and the reason why I didn't hit legs was because I was running track so often that they're always pretty much tired. Here's a picture of me running track. Super skinny legs, really pasty legs as well. I don't know why anyone would ever let me wear that short of shorts. Yeah, nothing really impressive, guys. I didn't really know what was going on in the gym. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and back when I was in high school, all the YouTube videos were like the bro diet and like the bro split, which looking back on now, I do regret it. I wish I would have educated myself a little bit more when it came down to like the diets and stuff like that, because during this time period I would like almost restrict myself from eating because I wanted to stay as lean as possible, which I didn't need to whatsoever. I was burning so many calories. I don't know why I ever was worrying about restricting the amount of food I was eating, and that's a big mistake that I notice even with teens nowadays, is if they're trying to bulk up, they're just a little bit hesitant to add calories into their diet. But if you're naturally lean, that's what you have to do. So going into my senior year in high school, same sort of physique, guys. Nothing a whole lot between my years in high school. Not a whole lot changed. I maybe added a pound or two a year, which at that time is not very impressive. I could have definitely done a lot better, but like I said, I was so scared of eating calories. I was so scared of like cutting back on cardio, and then on top of that I couldn't really cut back on cardio because of track. I was very tall. I think all my high school year I was like 5'10" and above, and I think my senior year I broke 6 foot, so I was very lanky. Now we go into 2013. So this is kind of a weird year for me because I transitioned out of high school. I was modeling at the time where I was making enough money where I didn't need to get a full-time job out of high school, which was really, really nice because it allowed me a ton of free time. Like I'm talking like pretty much 7 days a week. I had the whole day to do whatever I wanted. This is at the time where I was like, you know what, I'm done running track. I'm done with high school. I just want to focus on lifting. So this is when I really started to grind down, when I was about 18 years old. So for those of you guys that want a specific age, I was about 18 or 19 when I really started to figure stuff out, when I really started to go on the internet, research a bunch of stuff. And my physique started changing slightly. You guys can see I added a little bit more size. I think I was still around the 160s, 170s at around 6'1" here. I was going to the gym twice a day because I had so much free time. The morning times I was hitting abs 6 days a week for like 30 minutes. I was obsessed with abs. That's all I pretty much did in the morning times, was a little bit of cardio, and then I just smashed abs for like 30 minutes. Pretty much, like I said, 6 days a week. So they were very, very developed, as you guys can see. And then since I had so much free time, I wasn't playing sports either. I was done with everything. The only thing I was doing was lifting. I'd go in the evening and focus on my weightlifting. Still doing the bro split. Believe I did the bro split up until my first bulk. So I was doing like just one muscle group a day. I wasn't hitting anything twice a week. I'll try to find some more pictures. This was like a weird transition because I was out of high school, so I didn't get any group pictures. I didn't take a whole lot of pictures on my own, and then I didn't have my Instagram yet, so I didn't have any pictures that I took saved or anything like that. And then we go into 2014. This is where my life kind of started taking off a little bit and really kind of started getting exciting. This was the year that I first traveled. I first left Oregon to model full-time. I was graduated from high school. I had a lot of free time. I had the flexibility to go wherever I wanted, so I wanted to go to Miami. And this is actually where I met Courtney in 2014, 5.5 years ago. So I lived out in Miami 2014, 15, and 16 for 3 months out of the year. Just a little backstory, see when I talk about it a little bit later. My physique was really, really noticeable. I started booking jobs pretty much based off my physique. I think I was around 175, 180 pounds here. A little bit of change, not a whole lot of change. Keep in mind my calories were still really low. I was still scared of doing a bulk. So I pretty much did cardio 5-6 days a week. I was still going to the gym twice a day because I had the time to do it. This was when I was 20 years old, I believe. Genetically, or like that time of your life, like is when you should start like to really add on size, and it's pretty easy to add on size if you're doing everything right. So just naturally I was getting a little bit bigger. A lot of people say this time period between 2014 and 15 was like their ideal physique, or if they like look back on pictures, people are like, I want to look like that. So this is 2015. This is also the year that I booked the most modeling wise. I went from 2014 in Miami to booking maybe 2 jobs to 2015 booking, I think it was 14 jobs in like 2.5 months. So I got really, really busy. My physique was like the perfect proportions. I was 182 pounds, I believe. I was fitting into everything. This was just a good time, like face-wise, where I was like in that kind of kid category, not kid, but teenage category, where it was like a lot of catalog stuff. I booked Nike at the time. My physique was, I think, probably the second best physique I ever had was this time of the year. But for me personally, during this time, this is when I also started watching a lot of YouTube videos like Christian Guzman, and he would go through bulks and cuts. So it really intrigued me to try out a bulk. I've never bulked before. I was so scared of doing it, but I was like watching Christian do it, and I was like, you know what, like let me try this. So modeling wise, not a good thing. I don't know why I changed stuff when things were going so well for me money wise, and I was like traveling everywhere, but I decided to get a little bit bigger. And once I was getting bigger, I noticed a lot of clients started to not book me anymore because I wasn't fitting into the clothes. So that was pretty much at the end of 2015 once I traveled back to Oregon. During my off season, when I wasn't living in Miami at the time, I was living between LA and Oregon at my parents' house. So I had a lot of free time. I was still modeling a little bit back in Oregon. But this was 2015, and then the start of 2016 is when I really committed to kind of adding in the calories. So you guys can really start seeing some noticeable changes in my physique, and that is because I started adding calories into my diet. So specifically this picture right here, one of my favorites, still really, really lean during this time. And then during the middle to end part of 2016 is when I changed my whole split up. This is when I went from like 1 muscle group a week to hitting everything twice a week on more of a push-pull leg split. And then I started adding in a ton of calories. This was my first ever like real bulk. So I bulked from, I think, like March to November of this year, which is a solid 8 months at 4,500 calories. I went from 187 pounds to 205 pounds, and this is by far the biggest I've ever been. A lot of you guys know, this is all documented on YouTube as well for those of you that have been following me for a while, but it was the worst time for my face. I almost completely stopped modeling, but this was also during the time where my online coaching was still active, so I was making some money from that, but modeling slowed down a ton. I was breaking out. I was eating so much calories that my digestive system couldn't handle it, so I was just like breaking out from all the calories. My face was hurting from all that, but I was like, I was so committed to bulking. I was like, I gotta get 205, I gotta get to 205 pounds. So you guys can see definitely some size difference. My physique went from like 6% body fat for like 5 years of my life to going up to like 13% during those 8-month period. But I did add a lot of size. I hit my biggest lifts during this time. This was when I was 22 years old, by the way. So you guys can see right here. During the end of 2016, towards the holiday season, is when I decided to cut back down after that 8 months because I was moving to Los Angeles. So that transitions into 2017 through 2018 and 2019. So 2017, I would say, is the best physique that I think I've had, which is 2 years ago. It's sad to say that, and my best physique was 2 years ago. But everything was on point. I got done with that big bulk, and that bulk helped me so much. Like, from 2016 to 2017, you guys can see a huge change in my physique, and I give a lot of credit to the bulk that I did. So it definitely did help a lot. My biggest changes were from that bulk for sure. So beginning of 2017 is when I started leaning out, and like I said, probably the best physique I've ever had because I was coming off that bulk. I still had good size, I still had good proportions, but I was lean. So this was all around 190 to 195 pounds, which is about a 15-pound drop from my highest point. 2018 was kind of a weird year for me. Not my best year physique-wise, but it was also one of the best years that I've ever had financially. I was making a good amount of money from my online coaching, from my modeling, from the previous year, from like my personal training. This is when I started doing personal training in person, from bartending. So I was very busy, but I was very happy with the money I was making financially, and I was very proud of myself. But that was the first time in my the 6 to 7 years since I started lifting that I actually put fitness on the back burner. And I just like kind of lost a little bit of motivation, guys. So yeah, you guys can probably tell from my videos last year and even a lot of this year, like it just wasn't the same. Like even for myself, like I just didn't have the drive or the motivation to go to the gym and just like start hitting stuff super hard. A lot of it was because everyone was telling me to stay this exact weight. If I get any bigger, then I can't model anymore. So it was just like, I just was kind of to myself, I was like what do I want to do? I want to continue making this like good amount of money, or I want to kind of go back into like a bulk and kind of see what happens with my physique. And everything was going so well, I was like, I'm not gonna change anything right now. I'm just gonna kind of cruise through, sit at like 188 pounds and just kind of eat 3,200 calories, and I just wasn't motivated going to the gym. I was like, why am I here? I was just going through the motions. I was like, I'm in a maintenance, maybe even in a slight deficit. Like I'm not going to add any size on. My strength wasn't the best. It wasn't bad. I just didn't have any motivation. So you guys can tell as we go through these pictures of 2018, my physique was just like it wasn't super impressive. And since I lost a lot of that motivation, I wasn't working out as hard. You guys can tell I actually lost a little bit of size as well. Towards the end of 2018, at the beginning of 2019, I lost a lot of size. But now going into 2019 and right now, hey buddy, this is the first month of 2019. It's September right now. I don't know when you guys are watching this video, but this is the first time where I've kind of like re-motivated myself. I started getting to the gym like a couple months ago. I started eating better. And I'm feeling really good. I'm starting to see progression in the gym, which is a big motivation for me. And I'm starting to see some changes in my physique as well. I am in a surplus, so I'm definitely not as lean as I have been, but it's just kind of like a process, and I can see myself probably 2020 being my best physique yet, and hopefully topping 2017. So yeah, hopefully I didn't miss anything from 2017 to now, my split's been the same. My calories currently are at 3,700, so I'm definitely not going to where I was when I was 205. I don't want it. It's not worth me breaking out again. It's not worth me getting that big to the point where I can't model. So right now I found a sweet spot to where I am in a surplus, where I'm able to get strength in the gym, where I'm able to progress in the gym, where I'm able to add on weight and add on size, but I'm also not going to get to the point where like my face gets fat, I start breaking out a ton, and I don't fit in anything. So right now I'm very, very content with it. We'll just see where it takes me, but that is my 10-year transformation, guys. I hope I hope you guys were able to take something away from this video. If I missed something, it'll probably be in the description of the video if I missed like a big point or something. But if you guys do have any questions whatsoever, I try to respond to every single comment for the first couple days after the video is posted. So comment down below. I appreciate you guys watching this. Drop a like if it did help you guys out. It really does mean a lot. I'm trying to break 100,000 subscribers sometime soon. Maybe in like 2025, but who knows. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed.
Hey, buddy.